Welcome to Messages with Mary. We honor the part of you that knows life has more meaning than what you've been experiencing. And if you're here today, trust that God never places a message in front of you by accident. You didn't arrive here randomly, you were guided. There's a moment in the depths of suffering when the pain feels so heavy, so all-consuming, that the only prayer you can muster is the one Job cried out in his anguish. Let that day perish wherein I was born, Job 3 verse 4. If you've ever found yourself in a season where the weight of your circumstances feels unbearable, where the questions outnumber the answers, and where the light at the end of the tunnel seems to have gone out, this message is for you. Because here's the truth. Your despair does not disqualify you from God's presence. It qualifies you for His comfort. Job's story is not just a tale of suffering. It's a testament to the raw, unfiltered honesty that God welcomes in His presence. Job didn't sanitize his pain or pretend to have it all together. He cried out in his agony, he questioned God's ways, and he mourned the life he once knew. And in doing so, he modeled something profound. God doesn't require perfection. He requires honesty. Your lament is not a lack of faith. It's an act of faith, because it means you still believe He is big enough to handle your questions and strong enough to bear your pain. You may be in a season where it feels like every prayer goes unanswered, where the dreams you once had lie in ruins, and where the future feels like a black hole of uncertainty. You may have even doubted God's goodness, wondering if He has abandoned you or if He ever truly cared at all. But listen closely. Your suffering is not a sign of God's absence. It's an invitation to experience His presence in a deeper way. The God who walked with Job through the ashes is the same God who is walking with you now. And just as Job's story didn't end in the pit of his despair, yours won't either. There is a myth in the church that real faith never doubts, never questions, never struggles. But Job's story shatters that myth. Real faith is not the absence of questions. It's the courage to ask them while still clinging to God. Real faith is not the denial of pain. It's the determination to trust God even when the pain feels overwhelming. Job's friends tried to explain his suffering with neat theological answers, but Job refused their empty words. He didn't need explanations, he needed God Himself. And that's what you need too, not answers, but His presence. You may feel like you're drowning in a sea of grief, with waves of confusion, anger, and sorrow crashing over you. You may have lost things you can never get back, a relationship, a dream, a season of life. You may feel like you're standing in the ashes of what once was, wondering if anything good can ever grow here again. But here's what Job's story teaches us. God doesn't waste our pain. He redeems it. The very things that have broken you will become the soil in which He plants something new. The wounds you carry will become the testimony you share. The night you're in is not the end of your story. It's the setting for a miracle. But how do you keep going when the night feels endless? How do you trust God when He feels silent? You do what Job did. You speak the truth of your pain, and you refuse to let go of God. You acknowledge the darkness, but you also light a candle. You admit your doubts, but you also declare His faithfulness. You mourn what you've lost, but you also open your hands to receive what He wants to give you. This is not about faking strength or suppressing your emotions. It's about bringing your broken heart to the only one who can heal it. It's about letting your tears water the ground where God is preparing to plant something new. It's about trusting that the God who held Job through the storm is the same God who is holding you now. And here's the promise hidden in your pain. Your story is not over. The God who restored Job's fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before, Job 42 verse 10, is the same God who is preparing to restore you. The ashes you're standing in are the fertilizer for the future. He is growing. The questions you're asking are the seeds of a deeper faith. And the night you're in is the darkness before the dawn. So if you're in a season where Job 3 verse 4 is the cry of your heart, know this, you are not alone. God is not offended by your honesty. He is drawn to it. Your lament is sacred. Your questions are welcome. And your suffering is not the end. It's the birthplace of a testimony that will one day shine like the sun. Hold on. Dawn is coming. If this message resonated with you, it's no accident. Your night is not the end of your story. Like this video, subscribe to Messages with Mary, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today.